Okay, I think I'm live. Welcome. It is time for my town hall for today. It is Wednesday in June, and I'm still adjusting there. Okay, that's good. So, campaign update, town hall, and press release. Welcome. My name is Susan Maud Buchser-Lochocki, and I am still a presidential candidate from the 2024 presidential election. I have not conceded the election because there's a lot of fraud in our election process, and I have a lawsuit pending with the Supreme Court. So I just wanted to let you know that, and thank you for joining in. So today I want to talk about, sorry, I have an itch. Today I want to talk about the fact that the ceasefire that Donald Trump proposed does seem to be holding. I guess that certainly is good news. It's not that I'm guessing it, it is good news. But if, as we're hearing from the press, things didn't go exactly perfectly, but it seems to be working. So congratulations, President Trump, and I hope that the ceasefire continues. Let's see how things progress. Right now you're in Europe, and you're at an important meeting there of NATO, and so let's see what transpires there too. So, I cannot state enough that although it's working, it would not be, or maybe he had intel that said that this is what we should do. It would not have been my choice, but, maybe it's just a matter of how different people would handle issues. So I want to talk about, he's talking about bringing peace, being a peace promoter, and also he's talking about peace through strength with the military. And although, his activity with the military in Iran was very minimal, I think I want to go one step further, and it's not just peace through strength. So for me, strength is building up and keeping our military fit. And that means calling upon all U.S. citizens between the ages of 18 and 35 that they need to sign up for the military. They can, and this includes women too, they can go through and do a military service like with the National Guard. It's also promoting well-being, and it shows you, it gives you stamina in life. It teaches you how to, this is what my military would do. It teaches you how to protect yourself and your family, and also shows you what you're capable of with your own body. So it pushes you to the limits and teaches you about your capabilities. Now, some people may not want to go into the military, and that is also okay. So then we would have a different program where you would work with the elderly or the handicapped, so that you can also learn about limits and what you're capable of, and learn about dealing with people. So it's all about finding our place, making our niche, and learning our capabilities. So that's how I would like to see our peace through strength military work. And this covers everything from, Army to Marines. You can, of course, when you sign up, decide which branch you want to go into, and then there will be a training program. And that way we keep everybody fit and active, which is what we don't have right now. It also is a great way to network and to build up skills. So you can sign up for the short version or the long version, or you can become really 100% dedicated into the military too. That's also possible. So it depends on what you want for yourself, and it could change as well, you know. So, but that would be my peace through strength. And then, yes, I mean, when issues come up, then of course the military needs to act. I don't know if Iran needed the bombing. Maybe they did. I don't know. But I don't have the same intel that Donald Trump has. So President Trump has different news than I do. So maybe he had a reason for doing what he did. Or maybe there's some other plan that is unknown to all of us. I wanted to have the eagle be seen. So anyways, that is my first take on everything. Then the other thing, with our peace through strength, you know, we're very weak right now because we're spread all over the planet. And we need to give the other countries the skills that they need to defend themselves and to become their own independent country without the obligation of needing the U.S. for special services. The days of the U.S. policing the world is going to stop. I don't think it's a good idea what we've done over the past. I believe that a lot of evangelical Christians are behind it, trying to spread Christianity. And, you know, one of my first things, too, is getting Christian ideology out of our government. So we don't need God listed everywhere. We are supposed to be a country that is religious neutral. People have religion. Countries do not. And I would like to extend that to the country of Israel. Because right now, Israel seems to think that they need to be because they're the only Jewish country. But that is not true. So we have a lot of Jewish people here. So we are very Jewish in nature, and there are other countries like us too. Or at least our Judaism has really influenced our country. But the real point is that religion is one thing, and government is another. And they should not mix. People have religion, governments do not. Because as soon as you have a government who is also promoting a religion, then you have people fighting for God and not for the country. And so they're being crusaders for their beliefs. And this was the problem all along with what happened in the colonization of different countries all over the planet by the European colonists. And, you know, so far I haven't really heard of too many countries that were happy that they were colonized. So I think that using religion for a country and using it as an excuse to take over other countries is unacceptable. So the days of imperialism by Christians, by the USA, is done. Our job, our military's job, is to keep U.S. citizens safe and the U.S. itself self-contained. And that means by getting all of our young people involved in that. Most other countries that are having a huge success with their young people, most of them have a mandatory military service. Now, whether you spend it in the military or if you spend it doing civic things, like I said, with working at a old folks home or at a place where there's handicapped people, that is your service to the community, and it's also part of your education. So I think this is where one of the things that the U.S. can change immediately and start moving forward like a lot of the other countries. We are one of the most countries have mandatory public service, whether it's military or civilian service. It's mandatory. And so this is something we need to do with our own country too. And it helps to build pride and character and stamina. And I think it's very important. So that would be part of my Peace Through Strength, is to educate our people, because letting them go after high school and not get further education in their country is just, it's hurting them. Because our children, although, we are our own country and we're a pretty big country, and our children don't have to leave the country, a lot of them do. And then they are out there with the other kids from around the world. So they're technically, I don't want to say competition with the other kids, but they are. And so we are doing our children a disservice by not giving them this responsibility and this expectation with their time and with their youth. So I think we need to start having mandatory public service, and everyone can decide which direction they want to go. And sometimes life has something going on in their lives where they can't do it right away when they're 18. They may have to wait until they're in their 20s or something, but it has to be done, because we need all of us. And it takes all of us to make a country. And if we have some people doing it and some people not, that doesn't work either. So we need a balance, and we need our citizens to be the best that they can be. So under my administration, that's my goal, is to nurture our citizens to be the best that they can be, to bring out the best in others, and to leave the world better. So the other part is that eventually I would like to move us into a neutral military stance, where we're really only keeping fit and keeping our borders fit and our waters fit and our people fit. I don't want it that we're going out and aggressively trying to control other countries. So this is, in my opinion, wrong. Every country has a right to be a country. And that then brings me to the next thing, which is Palestine and Israel. The U.S. and several other countries have refused to acknowledge that Palestine is a country. It is a country. And we are the problem. So until we acknowledge that we are holding up the roadblocks for the Palestinians to mature and move forward, mature is the wrong word. I mean, the U.S. needs to mature, I should say, because we're the ones holding everything back. So we need to sit down with the Palestinian government. There is one, and we need to acknowledge it. Then we need to sit down with them and see what would be acceptable as far as finding a way forward. None of us were really there when the United Nations decided to create the State of Israel. And sadly, no one objected. People objected, but they didn't do anything about it. Or they did do things about it, but through terrorism. And although it's been somewhat effective, it's also not been effective, because Palestine is still not recognized. So we need to really end wars solve this issue in Palestine and sit down with the Palestinians, see what we can do there for them. And since we are the ones causing some of the problem, Israel is the other one causing the problem. And our determination to have an Israel is also part of the problem. So I think we need to really find the answer and create the answer. And then we need to move forward in a peaceful way, where every country focuses on their talents and skills and promotes them. And ultimately, I don't know if the UN is really doing what it needs to do. So I think we can also think about a new solution there. Yeah. I think there's room for growth all over. And yeah, just because, well, I don't know how to say it. So anyway, I'm not saying we need to end Israel. And, before Israel was even in existence, in that area, there were already Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, and Jews living side by side. So it's not like it wasn't already a mixture of people. And so there's no reason why it can't happen already. But by the U.S. staying silent, we are on the side of Israel. And I don't think that's acceptable. I mean, we've heard already from the American Indians and the past slaves that they didn't like it here in the Americas. So why would we think that the Palestinians would like it in their homeland? Why would we think that, like also in South Africa, where there were colonials who were running the country and the native population was being treated poorly. This is what we have in Israel, and it's time for the U.S. to face up to what they did and correct it. Now, it's not just the U.S., it's the UN, and it's UK, and it's probably a lot of other countries too. Germany is a big one. So, we need to stop the fighting there. Stop the terrorists and the terrorism. And I mean that from both sides, I mean that from the Israelis too. Having the most powerful secret service that's not a badge of honor. It's just not. So, yeah, it's time to start getting back to real life and stop all these James Bond concept of a world. We don't need spies anymore. We don't need all of this extra military stuff. We need to start being civil to each other. Enough people have died. Enough damage has been done. And we need to rebuild. Rebuild together and side by side. But it's got to start once. And now is a perfect time to start. So, yeah, that's my peace through strength concept. Like I said, I don't have the same intel that President Trump has, so I don't know why he did what he did. But there does seem to be somehow peace in the region, although I only get limited amount of news, so I don't really know if the Israelis are still attacking the Palestinians too or not. That I don't know. So I guess right now we just hold our breath until the next steps come. And yeah, I feel like a broken record, but Supreme Court, it might be time for a new election. And or it just might be time to declare that the last election was fraudulent and put into place some new election policies. The states are clearly out of control. We have 50 dictators, and they like to blame the federal government, but they're the ones that are too big, and the bureaucracy is too great, and they're just manipulating their citizens terribly. So we need the federal government to come in and declare that the 14th Amendment states that states don't have a right to infringe on U.S. citizens' rights and liberties. And our right and liberty is to vote and have it counted, not to vote and have it thrown out. It's as simple as that. So, and we need to include the U.S. people more. That's, people are frustrated everywhere because their voices aren't being heard. And they're not being heard. I can tell you that for sure. We got renegade people all the way, from your mayors to your Congress and beyond. So, yeah, it's time to rein things in. There's freedom, and then there's freedom. And it's not freedom to run away with public tax money. It's not that. So, the people want to be heard. I'm one of them. I don't really know what else I can say. It's hot, so make sure you keep water with you. Always have water, and don't run on empty with your car, because you don't know where the next gas station is. So make sure you're always at half a tank so that you can always get to where you got to go. And don't forget, cars can overheat in this weather, so don't drive for too long. Park in shade if you can. But stay at work, stay at home. Don't go out in the heat. It's dangerous. So these are my advice for this time, this weather. Just always stay hydrated, keep water near you, or beverages of some sort, and stay safe. Go swimming if you can. That's also a good way to cool down. So I guess that's about it. I can't really think of more to say. So, yeah, let's see what's going to happen. Iran and Israel, they are countries, and they have a certain amount of sovereignty. The world has a certain obligation, too, of things. So, we do all have to live on the planet together. But we can. It's called respect. And on that note, I will end it here and say, if you want to find out more about me and what my lawsuit's about and everything, I've got like over 600 videos out there on different channels. So if you just put my name into Google, you'll find me and find some information. But on YouTube, I'm very, very much there, present. Also on Facebook and LinkedIn. And then my website is susan4usa.com. That's Susan, the number 4, USA.com. And there you can gather some information too. Okay, so thank you for stopping by. And I wish us all peace and neutrality. Bye for now.